But I want to take you through this. So the topic that was earlier talked about is not what it is. So the topic that I knew I was coming to present is to talk about redefining your incident response when it comes to crisis response. And we'll look at a simulation of a particular kind of attack, which is ransomware, which is becoming one of the easiest and one of the areas that we all fear, right? And ransomware, how many of you have experienced ransomware at your offices? Organizations? Anyone? One? Okay, two, three, four, at least. So we at least have some people who have actually experienced that. So we're going to be looking into ransomware. We're going to look at some of the things that you need to look into. So when the profile was being read, I said that was a little bit different. My name is Bright Gameli Maudo. I'm a CEO of a company called CyberGuard Africa. We are right outside with at the Radware table. This is a bit of so today's presentation 368. I count them for a reason, for my own good. And I'm trying to basically just try to see how we can actually break details about what cyber resilience space looks like. So what do we know? When you're looking at cybersecurity or the ransomware space right now, the trends are crazily changing. And I'm talking about Q4 of 2024 because right now we are still seeing new things that are coming up. And I'm going to show you some of the areas or days or places that sorry, just come 1 second. So I want to show you where some of the ransomwares are coming from. How are they working? Do you know that one fact you need to know is that ransomware actors are collaborating? I don't know how many banks that are here. How many banks that are here? Banks, insurance companies, and the likes. When was the last time you shared any information with another bank as to how you got hacked? You've never. Yet you have an association. Right or wrong? We have insurance companies. You have to be able to collaborate because ransomware actors are collaborating to be able to make sure that they can share as much information they can to be able to get to that to be done. So I'll show you some of them where they are getting these details from. They are sharing passwords. There's actually a group where they actually share passwords for you to buy. Okay, it used to be bought. Now it's free. And if you guys want to volunteer, I would love anyone to volunteer. We can check for your company. Is that okay? Hello? Hi. We can check to see if one of your passwords are actually leaking. So there's the kind of, sorry, let me put this away. The attacks have intensified. The alliances between multiple ransomware groups they're working very well together. Initial exploitation is becoming very easy. I'm talking about this is just one of the tools that have been used. Social engineering has remained one of the prevalent methods that has been used, and rapid access to enable high impact disruption in industrial is becoming a thing. And some of them is because of just general crime, or sometimes just geopolitical reasons why they are able to actually do what they're supposed to do. Now, the kind of rebranded ways of ransomware actors that are being done right now is they even get source code that has been leaked. They actually share source code that are being used, which makes it easy for them to be able to collaborate or be able to actually just re-engineer what has been there. These guys don't want to create anything new. They basically want to make sure they can use already existing code. And guess what the codes are being found? GitHub. GitHub is one. The other place is where? Telegram groups. Which other place can you find them? Anyone? You can shout. Pardon? Discord. Exactly. So Discord groups are also there, and they are sharing some of those details to make sure they understand ways of being able to carry some of these things. Now, there are ICS-specific ransomware that has been also we've been seeing where they hit your production belts. They actually get to hit your. They try to get some failovers to fail, failovers to not work, and there's always shutdown when it comes to the OT part of things. OT is not a place people want to focus on, but it's actually a growing area where people are able to take control over people like KPLC and the likes. Because they know if they can take care of Kenya Power, that's actually going to be, they can actually hold the entire country at ransom. So we have to start defining what is a critical infrastructure or what is a critical asset when it comes to a country like this. The attack vectors are also becoming cloud-based extortions that we've seen, the frequent exploitation of VPNs, firewalls, firmwares, backups. And also, the proficiency in targeting Windows, Linux operating systems is very coming easy. The recent hack that happened for the ransomware, what's it called? The cryptocurrency, where North Korea stole 1.5 billion? Is it 1.5 or 4.5? I can't remember the amount. Was actually the initial exploitation was actually because of a cloud-based solution. These guys, before they went into the Web3 space to actually create new smart contracts, they actually exploited how do you call it? The AWS infrastructure to be able to inject code. So Web2 kind of applications are still happening, and they're using such things to be able to infiltrate. And I think we'll see some of the ways they're trying to get into some of these systems. We'll see a few of those. This is a sample phishing attacks that are being done. And it's a new kind of ransomware tactics, which I have seen being used a lot. This is an email testing that we did using something called Swax. Swax can be used for sending emails, and you just have to get an API to be able to send that out. This email came from this particular person, but if you see the reply to went to my good friend Fraser Kilonzo at the back there. So Fraser was not the original recipient of the email. After I received the email, the reply to has been changed to that. It's a simple one line of script to be able to help me get that achieved. So making it easy for ransomware actors to be able to take over, to hijack your systems, to make sure they can enable you to click on a link, because once you click on a link, to them, they're done. And what are they trying to get? They're trying to get to steal your cookies to be able to do further attacks. Most of the time, they don't want to spend too much time on your systems before they actually attack you. They might just go straight into attack mode. Others want to be able to compromise the system and wait for some time. Reason is because they want to be able to exfiltrate data. They want to exfiltrate passwords. They want to see which systems do you have in the network that do not have any kind of authentication. And majority of you in these organizations, in right now here, some of you have systems that have no authentication to systems internally. How many of you have SMB share in your networks where you share folders and the likes? At the back there, a few others. Typical of SACCOs, sorry. SACCOs typically have that, and a few other organizations. So we have to try to see what are the ways of them being able to authenticate into some of those. And because of lazy designs that we usually have in some organizations, it's a way for us to be able to make sure these ransomware actors are able to get into our networks. But if you look at an organization looking at this kind of skill set and this kind of roles that are being, it's what you need, it's what you want. But I highly doubt all of you, someone like, where's Stacy? Stacy there, that's almost everything. I know Stacy from back in the day, and I know she's a threat intelligence analyst. Tomorrow, she's the incident response manager. She's the one also doing pen tests. If you come to architecture, Stacy will be the one to do such a thing. It's what she's good at that. But it can't all be done by one person. So it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to make sure all of these roles are being filled in an organization. So it's quite difficult to achieve this because, and ransomware actors understand that you don't have that capability. Is the reason why they will take advantage of you not having everybody to be able to do this, or having that one person to take care of all of this and be able to take advantage of that. In February 2024, a Middle Eastern telecom provider suffered a ransomware attack where they had to pay $100,000. That's pocket change to them, I believe. If you're in the Middle East, $100,000 is someone's salary for the month. Yes or no? Possibly. But if you look at that, it was not a very sophisticated kind of attack. And ransomware actors go for what is easy. You don't go for what is difficult. Hello? You go for the easiest kind of things they can actually exploit, not what is difficult. What went wrong is because the backups are compromised. So without tamper-proof storage of the backup, it's very easy for them to say, you're not going to get back your data. There's a lack of network segmentation. I've been to some companies where they have a flat network. So everything is on just, there's no VPN, there's no segregation. If you compromise one part of the network, the other one is basically just jumping or being able to actually hop to the other side of things. There's a delayed incident response, and the security teams discovered this breach way too late. There are companies in Kenya who only realized the ransomware after, in fact, this happened recently, after I sent a DM on Twitter, on X, is where they realized that they've been hit. And nobody was able to actually They didn't understand the fact that they actually have been hit. And ransomware comes in two parts. They either steal your files and lock down your files and tell you to pay, or what? They steal your file and tell you you have 10 days to pay before they actually release the files, right? So some of them actually do both. They steal the files, at the same time lock your network, your systems, or your entire computers, and make sure that they make you suffer in being able to get that back. So delayed response can be very detrimental to your entire business, and you might not be able to actually run a company if that's still happening. Reactive security posture. People only detect, only triggered, the kind of the detection and security mechanisms are only triggered after the security breach has happened, or the encryption has happened to that particular organization. What they should have done is to be able to have untouchable backups, which is one. People still don't have backups until today. And if they say backups, I'm not talking about backups where you have a physical hard drive. Because Fraser and I had that scenario. Fraser, who's there? He went to get a backup to his, so he has an organization. What is your backup mechanism? They're like, oh, at the end of the day, somebody actually carried the hard drive home. Every single day. So every 4 p.m., that's his job. He has to physically go to the server, click on download. After it zips everything, it downloads, and then he has to take it to his house. What do you think are some of the issues that can happen with that? Anyone? Please shout. Theft, that's one. The drive could be corrupted. There's another crazy one I'm thinking about, yes? Stealing. Did you know that some of the people who are actually ransomware actors in Kenya are actual Kenyans who are helping the ransomware actors in the other places? I once went to do an incident response for an organization in Kenya. In the conversation, I told them, look, call the ransomware guys, because they left the phone number. And they said, call on WhatsApp. So this is a WhatsApp call, did an investigation about the WhatsApp number, revealed nothing, tried to find true caller details, nothing, leaked databases, nothing. And on the call, there's a guy in the background like, "Wait, Buana." I was like, this is a Russian number. I'm talking to Russians and they have a Russian accent. But you're hearing "Wait, Buana" in the background. What does that mean? They are already working together. Because then these guys, some Kenyans, I'm not going to mention who, say, oh, we can actually create a decryption key for you in 2 days. And I'm like, no matter how good you are, no matter how crazy of a programmer you are, there is no way you can create a decryption key for a ransomware, that has happened in 2 days. It's impossible. What does that mean? They're actually working together. So that is something that is actually happening in Kenya, and please be aware of that. So companies who come to you say they can solve your ransomware problems in a day or 2 or 5 or 10 minutes, please ask questions, because they could be working together to be able to achieve that. So lockdown of network segmentation. Segment it was bad. You have to segment your network so that bad actors can't roam around, because when they get into your network, they just basically want to do a pivot to go around and see what they can actually get. You need to spot threats early. We're in the age of AI. Guys, if you're not using AI in your network right now to detect some of these attacks before they happen, you are in for a very long run. Practice attacks in a safe space. Adversary simulation. Pen tests are nice. It's good to do pen tests. I'm not refuting pen tests, but you have to start doing adversary simulation. Yesterday, some people came to our booth and I asked them a question. Or let me ask, you have a firewall? You have a firewall? You do. Does it work? Yes. You guess. You are saying yes. 100% sure. What's your company name? I would like you to test that out. I have a DDoS server set up right now. You can what? You have 3 machines on top of the firewall. A what machine? I didn't hear that. A dream machine. Remember, even Elon Musk has been hit by DDoS, eh? And this is Elon Musk, who has all the firewalls you can think about. So there's only so much you can stand when it comes to any kind of attack. You need to actually perform adversary simulations to be sure that a particular malware that has been created does not affect your network, A particular kind of DDoS does not affect the vendor solution that you have because, hey, I know there's so many vendors out there. Everybody will tell you they're the best, which is fine. But there might be some level of threshold that might not that has not been configured to your network. That means some kind of attacks might still go through. So if you don't do adversary emulation, you are going to fail at some of these attacks. And please, I'm not bashing vendors, but any vendor solution that comes to your network, please test them out. Be sure that it actually works for whatever they say they're going to sell to you. Hello? So vendors, if you want to kill me after this, it's okay. But I'm just trying to speak the truth because salespeople will tell you we are selling. They want to close their deals and get their markups. They get their margins. Anyway, oh yeah, check your vendors. So make sure the vendors outside don't become entry points because sometimes these third-party vendors are the reason why you are going to get compromised. So some of the lessons there is your backups aren't if your backups aren't ransomware proof, they don't exist. If your network isn't segmented, expect a total system compromise. If your response starts after encryption, you're already too late. However, you might always go to have number 3. If you've been hit by ransomware for whatever reason, your response is always going to start after that. However, the question is, what kind of response do you want to run when that encryption happens? People have backups, they've never tested it. Every day, you're having backups and backups and backups, but if you never tested to know how long it takes for you to be able to restore, then it's actually useless like the G in what? Lasagna. Anyway. No, anyway, so this wasn't just an IT failure. It's most probably might be an operational part of things. So what are they thinking when it comes to 2025? What are the ways they're going to get you compromised? I know I have 19 minutes. I need to look at that. Cyber criminal, they now rent ransomware. On Telegram groups, you can actually rent ransomware as a service. It exists. If you search properly, you'll find them. If you go to the dark web, or just a deep web, not even dark, you will find ransomware as a service saying, the target is you, this company here. I want you to hit them hard. I'll pay you a down payment. And they give you a payment plan. But they go try it out. You actually get a payment plan, pay via Bitcoin, and they will actually carry out that DDoS or ransomware attack for you. So people like Revo, Conti, Lockbit run platforms drastically lowering the skill barrier. So you don't have to know how to do ransomware. You basically just need to find, a way to get in. And one easy way to get in, which I like, is can I borrow a company? Any company here? And please don't say Safaricom. That's always the example I keep on getting. Pardon? You're very funny. Any other? Anyway, or email, maybe I can borrow one. Hey, it's Kenya Power here. Let's start from there. Anyone from Kenya Power? Or KPLC? No? Great. No, anyway, so if you look at something like this, hey, no, but that might get me to trouble. So let me not. Let's look for a company outside of Kenya. Pardon? Okay, I'm going to show you generally what is there or what people are searching for so that it doesn't put me to trouble. Is that okay? Because I don't want to get myself into trouble because I know that guys online who will start. So if you go to this group here, all I need to do is to basically request for any person's details and I'll be able to get it nice and easy. There's another one called BF Repo. Here, they even start giving you all the files they have hit, all the companies they've hit before or what they've shared, and you can actually download them. So UNEC, I don't know who UNEC is, but if you actually click on that, you'll find people's details. If you look for Kenya, whatever it is, you might find some details there. Like, for example, I one time found, where is my terminal? Where's my terminal? What is going on? I really don't know where my terminal is. Here. This is being extended. So 1 second, let me just stop sharing the screen so that I can find it. What is going on? Does anybody know how to fix this? Oh, there we go. All right. I don't know why the terminal was missing. Demo gods. Everything works offline, you get on stage and nothing works. This has never happened. Oh, here we go. Anyway, as that is loading, I will basically get to show you. So I wanted to show you some of the leakages, how they get out and what you can gain from it. So the extortions are getting to triple. They are getting very advanced techniques when it comes to antivirus evasion. And when they're trying to evade anti-malware solutions, they use something what they call living off the land. And things are tools that you already have in your organization. I kept on asking this question. How many of you have PowerShell on your networks, on your computers? Who use Windows? PowerShell? Your finance guy, does he use it? No, but he's still running PowerShell, right? And if you see other things like PowerShell is one of them, WMI, DLR registry are some of the things that they use. So they try to use what you already have in your network to be able to exploit you. So if PowerShell is not needed by your finance director or HR, or salespeople, who are the ones that they will target first, they're the ones who will easily click on the link, please disable them. Hello? Disable them if you can. They don't need it, disable them. So, and then you have other advanced tools which are able to trigger in case anybody runs a PowerShell script, which is not supposed to be how they call it, to be used. Some of these PowerShell scripts, they know a PowerShell script is supposed to run a normal command, but if it's fetching data and coming back and going back and forth, that network is supposed to be triggered. So again, if a vendor brings a solution to you saying it can monitor traffic and be able to stop it, test it out. Create simple malwares with things like, say, how do you call it? Empire framework. It's free. Try it out. See if you can create a simple malware with this and see if it works on the network against some of those tools to see if it blocks. As my terminal started working, I really don't know what is going on today. Terminate. Terminate. Okay. All right, this is working. The other one, which is things that is the devices that we have out there. So if you go to a simple tool like Shutdown, and I've done these demonstrations quite a number of times, Shutdown gets you to be able to see most of your devices out there. If you have not run your organization network against such a tool like this, you are actually going to be lagging behind in some of these things. So try it out. If I look for, say, authentication disabled on port 445, and the country is, should we try Kenya or another place? Hey, okay. Kenya, you guys are putting me on the spot. TZ. This is showing a few systems or networks that basically allows you to, who are sharing files within the network. Their host, Safaricom or Fiber or whatever it is, doesn't mean that they are the ones who are the responsible for this kind of attack. They're just hosting. So if I take somebody like this company here, I can see they have folders called admin, crystal reports, users, or whatever it is. I can try to see if I can log in. You basically have to just use SMB client. And say you want to find out users. And if we are lucky, what the password is, there's no password, right? So you're basically able to log in and go to administrator and get to see what they have on their desktop. This is 2025, as of March 14th. And you can go to what? Crystal Reports, and it's a tool. So you basically are able to, and this is how ransomware, this is one easiest way I demonstrate ransomware being able to hit a company, because with this, you are logging in directly to this company without authorization. right? So such a simple vulnerability is able to actually show ways of how cyber criminals are able to exploit. And they have automated these tools to be able to actually get this done. And I wanted us to be able to see one of the ransomware actors, something like this. So this is Medusa, and this on the sister.gov on .gov website, you can actually find most of the ransomware. So I just pick a random one, and something like this on what's the word? For Medusa ransomware, they basically are using very simple tools. So I'll show you this and then show you a different version of it. So look at the kind of discovery they use. They go for things like what? FTP, port 22, SSH, Telnet. They go for some of these. These are the kind of scanning they get to do. If you check your shutdown scripts, you simply can see the same thing, say port, what? This is 21? And you say country to be KE, you basically can see the same thing of how many servers in Kenya have port 21. And it's easily discoverable. I know all of you can do this. It's called shutdown. The commands are publicly available. It's free. Keep on running them. Run them against your organization. See how exactly that your network is exposed. You can actually put network command where you say you put your public IP, put the network size, and you'll be able to actually scan them. So we have 4,536 FTP sites, and you basically can automate this to run against every single of these ports, these IP addresses, to see which ones have anonymous login. But that's not the order for today, so let's not go there, right? Because I'm tempted. Where am I? Where is my screen? Yeah, so basically this person was able to say these are the things they go for, and they use certutil for utility tool, which is within Windows, to be able to actually run some of these commands. So again, try some of those, and then they went ahead to use what? PowerShell to run against that network. And this is the command that they actually ran. They put an IP address, get the tool they want to get to run, and run it on your network to be able to make sure that it actually activates. This on a normal traffic will look like it's very okay. But the thing is, this is how the ransomware is actually getting to your network. So I'm just trying to give an example. There are many other examples that are out there of the ransomware actors and how they get to work. So you can go through this. I'll share the presentation for you to be able to go through this. And from there, they started doing a lateral movement by adding a firewall rule to be able to do a remote desktop. So you see, all of these will not happen in a second. They will take time. They'll get in. They'll start stealing files. They'll see if they're able to log in. Was there a detection? They'll try every single method and see how did it go in, and they'll go for the low-hanging fruit. So we have to be wary of some of these things, and we have to try out some of these attacks. This is where you come to things like this. So with the MITRE ATT&CK website, you are able to actually simulate. So wait. You can try, if you are in the healthcare space, or which other space is there? Insurance, thank you. You find something like this, right? So if you click on this particular one, I can select this particular kind of attack and even color code it to say yellow, and it shows you the kind of attack. So the MITRE ATT&CK framework is able to give you the steps of which an attack is able to actually, the whole rundown from beginning to the end. So try to do this. When I say adversary emulation, these are the things I'm talking about. You have to plan them out. You have to understand which kind of areas do you want to try and replicate this. And there are tools that you can actually run where you run a similar kind of attack to see where does it fail, where does it work, where does it, how do you call it? Where does it actually get to work, and which areas can you be able to do that? So you need to be able to actually run some of those to know what exactly is happening in the network and systems for you to know how to move forward. Let me get back to presentation mode. So this link was just that particular page that I showed you. It's publicly available. It's free. Please make use of them, right? So just to close up some of these things, because I know I have a very short time, you have to keep on staying informed. Zero trust model. Zero trust is not a solution. It's a model. So we have to make sure we understand exactly what zero trust is and not just buying a tool which will and will do typically everything on zero trust. Even if you buy zero trust tools, make sure that that tool actually works in your environment. It's been tested. It's been tried and tested against everything that you can think about. Use the MITRE ATT&CK framework. Try everything else that you have to see to be sure that your network or systems or your crown jewels is actually being protected. Because if you ask, and I ask these questions all the time, even in the previous conferences, what is the asset of greatest risk in your organization? Asset could be a person, could be a laptop, could be a database. What would you say? Pardon? The CEO's laptop. Okay. To you? CTO? Yes. Whatever makes the money. So it could be a database, right? If it's a database, if the database system goes down and you can't actually do a failover in the next 5 minutes, automated failover, then that becomes the asset of greatest risk. So if you start classifying all the assets you have in the organization and of the greatest risk and what risk can actually hit them, you basically can actually simulate attacks against that particular asset and know how to protect it. If the CFO's or CEO's laptop is not protected, you might even say you want to get a new laptop for him. He's using that one laptop for transactions, nothing else. This is the laptop you use for what? Approval of payments, and that's it. Because you're monitoring every single activity that happens on that particular machine, because that is an asset of greatest risk to you. Saying if that doesn't happen, a lot of your partners or a lot of your suppliers or something like that are going to go down, right? So please get to define what asset of greatest risk is all about. Regular secure backups. There's regular and there's a word what? Secure. People have backups which are regular, but they're not what? Secure. So you get hit by ransomware on one side. What happens? They hit your backup, and your backups, and your backups, and they now start wondering if it's possible to be able to recover. And also the planning of it, right? Where are you keeping those backups? You might want to keep them at your data center 1, 2, 3, or cloud service provider 1, 2, or 3. But again, test them out to see what works for you, the kind of network, the traffic that you imagine will be used to be able to get that done. Employee training, I can't stress on this enough. Even though you train them a million times, they will still click. But it's good to train them. We tried a phishing campaign the other day against a company. We were so sure. Where's Eric? Eric is there. So we call Eric to do, he does very good phishing campaigns, and I called him to actually run that. Guess what? One engineer is all that it took to shut down the whole thing. I mean, we sent to everybody. He spotted it. He sent an email to everybody. It's like, don't click on this. And because he has seen it so many times, and somebody we knew, he was able to stop the entire attack because of one single person to be able to notice. Right? So if you have 200 employees and one person is able to spot that particular kind of attack on time, you have to make sure you have a very easy communication channel to be able to do that. You don't go send an email to everybody. You might even get your Slack channel or WhatsApp call or do an email blast and say, do not click on this email that came from HR. It's not from HR. Because HR is the easiest. Salary review. It always works. It always what? It always works. I'm going to show you a sample one because I have 2 minutes. I'm going to show you a sample one that has to happen. Endpoint protections. Guys, you can protect everything from outside there. But if inside somebody can still plug in a cable like this, I don't have time to show you. This is not your charger cable. My good friend Sam here has a whole kit. I just brought one. He has a whole kit. You should visit the SM Sam booth. They have a whole kit to show you how it works. This, plugged into this phone, I can run any command on this phone just because I've plugged in this charger cable. And I've tried it enough times, it always will work. So the fact that I can't come to your laptop and type those commands because you'll not give me, I will target you when you're at the coffee shop at Java and tell you my phone is dead. Could you charge for me? You will charge because I will smile at you, I'll put the strongest cologne, and that lady, you will fall for it. Esther, you will fall for it. If I smile at you and I put a very strong cologne, there's no way you'll resist that. So you'll be like, oh, it's okay. You put it in to charge. The person will type that PowerShell command to, first of all, disable your what? Your antivirus. disable your firewall, download the malware from a nearby Wi-Fi, which I don't have my Flipper Zero here. We can actually set up and basically download that malware to your laptop and say, it's okay, that's the weekend. On Monday, when you get to your corporate network, the command and controls calls back home. And then we continue, right? That's what's going to happen. So you basically have to start rethinking about that. Penetration testing and red teaming, two different things. You need to start understanding what is the things you want to achieve. I'm trying to rush because of that. And we have been doing a lot of SIEM or security incident and event management monitoring. Monitoring and threat intelligence are two different things. That's a whole topic for another day. I was about to get into threat intelligence, but I don't have time. You can monitor, but if you don't understand what you're monitoring against and start automating because of orchestration and automation, you are going to actually fail. Because, like I said, I give an example of Stacy. Stacy cannot do incident response and then go do a pen test, then goes to start shutting down on a firewall. And she used to do that. That's why she's smiling. We used to work together and she used to do most of those things. But it's the day and age, she can't do everything. That's why she needs to make sure that it can be automated. By the time you call the network engineer, saying we have an IP address that is hitting us, check our DNS records. Anyway, let me not go there. All of those will take time. So you have to start automating, but you can only automate the process that you have what? Tested out. Hope you're able to connect all the things I'm talking about. Because if you don't do that, you're not able to actually carry that out. I was going to get into this topic, but there's no time. So I will go straight into just a short demonstration of a ransomware attack that I replicated. It's just 1 minute. That's why I made a video. So on the left is very, like what I showed you right now, PowerShell Empire. It's a new version of it, which basically gets to run as a command and control. On the right is an attacker, a victim. So the victim had got an email saying approval of document. This approval of document, person that set up the command and control and just waiting. So on this side, this person opens the file, but I had put a password on the file because I don't want your Google security to open the zip file and read the file because they do that, right? So I put a password that they have to actually download it to your computer to run. And this, when the person wants to extract it, it puts what? It puts the password, which is called blank. And the file gets to be there. It's a macro-enabled, how do you call it, Excel sheet. So the salary review thing, or salespeople say, compute your what's that thing? Your bonus, or not bonus, what's the other one? Yeah, exactly. They will actually do that because it's exciting. It's a trigger word for them to be able to actually do that. When this person clicks on enable editing, look what happened on the side. It downloads 3 files, and this is what we call a fileless malware. Malware on top of the other to make sure that it's almost undetectable. If I was to send an executable file immediately, that will be detected. But the first one is one, and it's an HTA. HTA is just basic HTML. It will not be detected as malicious. The second one is what? A PowerShell script. That PowerShell script now calls the last one, which is what? The empire.exe that is executable. So that comes on top of on 3 layers, and it's a fileless malware. And that's how easily it is a ransomware, I guess, to be able to get into this network. So the person is browsing, looks normal, but here you are able to actually do anything. I'll fast forward. All I wanted to do on this machine to show is to say, hello, hacked. That's what it gets to show. So this is how easily it is that ransomwares are able to get into your network. I hope you have been able to pick a few things. I hope it made sense. I hope you've been able to correlate the details. And next time, we will get into proper threat hunting. I presented part of this at the last CIO 100. But I think this is a different crowd where we can see how to be able to tackle this. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.